I had fruit punch today, so I got a red thumb and not a green thumb. All right, so let's get to it right now. Hey, I'm very, very, very irritated at the media right now, and I'll tell you why. Again, I mean, when am I not irritated at the media? The so-called journalists that in theory are story and present impartial facts and information, not commentary and editorialize everything with their opinions. Who really cares about their opinions? Even when they ask for their opinions, it seems all we get is opinions these days. There really are one-sided propagandists, if you really think about it. This, they say, really is mainstream media. Mainstream media really isn't mainstream at all. It's more like not mainstream. You know what mainstream in the country is? I'll tell you in a second. The media is owned and operated by progressive propagandists that have a view of the world and an agenda that has no common sense or logic built into it alone. Whether you're right wing or left wing, it doesn't really matter. There's no right to wrong. Wrong is wrong and right is right. It is driven by hate and anger and decisiveness. It is driven by racial targeting, economic targeting, sensationalism, also sexism, all coming from the left-wing lunatics that have infiltrated government, media, and schools over the last lifetime of Jesse T. And they preach a view of the world that's really out of step with what really is mainstream in America. And the Republicans on the right side aren't too much better themselves. And you know, really mainstream is this. Mainstream is right down the friggin' middle. That's where mainstream is, right down the middle. That's what America is. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. It all gets mixed up in a big melting pot, compromised for an agenda that is most prosperous for everybody, for the most of everybody, not the few of everybody in this country. I'm sorry to say, the most of everybody. You give up of yourself. The good of the many out far and outweighs the good of the one when you come to the understandings of country and direction. Now, I'm not talking about just the top elite wealthy class, which you must have in a capitalistic society, guys. A capitalistic republic like we're built on democratic ideals rooted in the teaching of Judeo-Christian concepts of right and wrong. That's who we are. We're not Islamists. We're not Buddhists. We're not spiritualists. We're not Hindus. We are rooted in the large number of Judeo-Christian attitudes of right and wrong. Now, nobody's talking about the good things that are happening in our country. You know, we need wealthy entities to create employment, products, goods, and services, create things, create wealth, create employment, create money, create jobs, and then create more wealth and more money and more things and more jobs. That's how the middle class was created in this country. By people who took a risk, put everything on the line. Did you put everything on the line to get where you're at in this world? Most people, like my folks, come from a middle working class in America. Most people went to a job and hit a time clock. Now, that's not saying you're bad, and that's not saying anything. It's just a fact. Most people would rather go and plug a time clock and go to the job every day and have that security. And that's what America was all about. That's what created the middle class, the working middle class, the blue collar worker. You see, I'm wearing blue today. The brown beauty's always right on duty. As you enter the world, according to Torero, you're going to get straight on the point today about some things. Because this media has got me irritated to the max, aggravated and agitated. Now, we've got to have wealthy people in this country. They make up a very small sector. And before 1913, they paid all the taxes. It was the entities and the corrupt government that created the IRS and the Federal Reserve. Okay, but that's for the makings of another show and another story. So what we have here is that nobody is talking about the good things here in America, the good things that are happening right now as I sit and I talk in front of you today on the Power of Voices and AVTV Live, which is soon going to be rebranded to KTN TV. We'll let you know when that's coming down the road. Nobody's talking about what the Trump economy is really doing. Now, whether or not you're a Republican, Democrat, whether or not you're a socialist, a communist, a capitalist, the fact of the matter is that the Trump economy is exploding. It's exploding on all fronts, but nobody's talking about that. Oh, no. It's going right through the roof. In fact, nobody's talking about the 70% of illegal immigration that has dropped since Trump took office. Nobody's talking about the massive number of bills he has signed that have come through Congress. Come through Congress, not just executive orders. We're talking like 66 bills so far as of today that have come through Congress. Okay? That's what we're talking about. Not to count his executive orders that have stopped a leaky dam from for going towards the more positive changes. Okay? Nobody's talking about the redirection of our military. That he's taken that he's moving us in the right direction to have the strongest military the world has ever seen, to protect you and I in this nation, to limit the amount of people that have to be in the military by high technology, to create things like Reagan did, to create new concepts and technologies, to militarize our military in a way that it's modern and not 20 or 30 years old. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the point of view of anything good. They're just talking about everything bad in mainstream media. They just want to point out how everything is just horrible and the world is ending. Well, the world's not ending, ladies and gentlemen. The world is going to continue to go on and on and on. An asteroid is going to kill the world. We're not going to kill it. Nobody's talking about how there are less riots in the streets around America than there were last year. There are less shooting of police officers than there were last year. They were growing at a massive pace. It kind of leveled off in the country. Nobody's talking about the massive amounts of corporations that are creating millions of new jobs or are pledged to. And that the ones that are coming back to America or not leaving America because of the potential reduction of taxes down to 15%. That's creating money. That's creating jobs. That's creating reinvestment. That's creating reinvestment in you, ladies and gentlemen, and me, Americans, not somewhere else. Nobody's talking about the potential tax reduction you're going to get, 35% taxes. I don't know about you, but to be in a 35% tax bracket, please, Lord, please bring it on. The IRS in the state of California take all my money. It's unbelievable. Nobody's talking about the Department of Education. They're working hard to get rid of Common Core, the most terrible instrument of propaganda that was ever created in the public schools in this country. Hey, let's give the schools back to the communities, where the community knows best how to educate their children. Local control, local decision. That's why magnet schools are doing so well across the country, and charter schools are doing so well, because they don't have to follow an agenda put down by the overseer in Washington or the state. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that Trump is yet to fill 3/4 of his cabinet appointees. How come nobody's talking about that? You know, there's like 4,000 appointees that each president gets to appoint. And he hasn't even filled 3/4 of them. And for all intents and purposes, he's probably not, because he doesn't believe in big government. He doesn't believe in hiring people that waste money and time. Everybody else did, including Reagan did. But nobody's talking about that he's not wasting money. Why? Why is nobody talking about that? Why? Why is the news all filled with hatred and fake news, stupid talking heads and opinions and wannabes on TV? Because they know something that you've forgotten. Saying hi to 01 Edu J, the realistic Doc, Ellen Flacida Bachi, I think, and Simone Liu. Thanks all for having us on. And Hess James, thanks not though Hess James. He has the opposite idea than I have. He has, but that's okay. Hess, we love you. And you have the right in this country. And I will fight for your right, for you to say what you need to say. He thinks Trump's ruining our nation. I'm diametrically out on the opposite of that. But that's okay. We can have a dialogue and an argument and a discussion. We don't have to take guns and shoot each other and hate each other and be angry at each other and hate our families and hate our color of our skin because we have a different idea about something. That's what this country's all about. It's about civil argument, not about uncivility or incivility or chaos or anarchy. See, you've forgotten something that they know about you, the Western media, the mainstream media. People get the information from 2-minute video bites. That's what they get it from. They don't get it from anybody else. They get it from 2-minute video bites. Now on the smartphone, 30-second video bites. Otherwise, the attention goes, phew. That's why we have all these cartoon movies, because the attention goes, phew. Nobody reads anymore. Nobody researches. Nobody does anything like that. You see, there was a time that the news media actually did do something called journalism. They did research and they presented both sides. They didn't bring commentary and opinion. That was on the back pages of the newspaper. But not anymore. It's right out in front. Because it's a battle for your emotion. That's what it is. It's a battle for your heart, not a battle for your intelligence and logic. That's not what it's about. They want your soul. And why do they want your soul? Because once your emotions are given up and they capture that, you've lost the battle. You've lost the war. Because your heart is beating faster than your brain can think. You end up just becoming what I call a sheeple. Blind leading the blind. I'm telling you, wake up, America. Wake up fast. Irrespective of your party affiliations, wake up. Because if you don't, I fear the end of what we know America is and was and can be is very near. And we will continue to head down this path of destruction that they're going to lead us. Because in chaos and anarchy and hatred and anger, there's absolute control. Which means they take your money and they take your life, get rid of you, and take some more. It happens from within, not from without. Nobody's going to land on Venice Beach in Santa Monica and the Jersey Shores. It's not going to be D-Day. Okay? No. It happens within. And you know that's worse. Because what happens within, we don't realize is happening. So that's my monologue for today. Try to do something like that every day and kind of set the agenda. And I want to talk about a couple of things here that I think are real important for us to understand. And that is, I just want to show the differences between Clinton, Obama, and Trump. Okay? I just want to real quickly do that. So I'm going to kind of bring it up right here on the big screen. The big screen. That's right. I got the big screen rolling up here. So let's get out of here and let's go to the big screen. Let's go back and start with your friend and mine, Hillary Clinton, and Slick Willy Billy, the man who all he cares about is his wee-wee. That's all he cares about. Wee-wee and money. Okay? Let's go back here and let's bring that up for a second because it is pretty. You know what that is right there, guys? That's people in front of the Turkish ambassador's house who were protesting the Turkish president coming to America yesterday. So they protested it, and this Turkish ambassador's guards went out there and beat them all up. You want that in America? That's Turkey. You know Turkey is an Islamic nation in disguise. Did you know that? You know that their nation is Islamic. It's not Christian. At one time, Turkey was a Christian nation. In fact, that's where Christendom really took hold. Constantinople, Istanbul, right? The capital of Turkey. That was Emperor Constantine from Rome when he changed to Christianity from the pagan religions. And he moved Rome, the capital of Rome, to Constantinople or Istanbul. It was the enclave of Christianity. But now they've taken over. The ones that want to fight and beat up. They're not our friends. They just happen to be in NATO. They aren't our friends. Okay? Anyway, I want to talk about something here, and the Clintons. And the reason why I want to talk about them, because I got to show the differences of what's happening today. Okay, these are 25 and counting huge scandals that hit Slick Willie Billy and Hillary Killary. Okay, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I'm going to spend a few seconds on it. Number one, Clinton turned the IRS into a Gestapo. Remember when they went after all the Tea Party people? And that was proven. That's number one. You think that was legitimate and legal? How come the FBI didn't investigate that? What about covering all of Bill's dirty deeds over the last 45 years? I wonder what she had to do and they had to do. You think any of that was ever investigated? No. What about, oh, by the way, they're Democrats. What about looting the White House and the State Department after they left the presidency? They took, I don't know, $60,000 worth of stuff and they had to return them. And she said, oops, I just forgot. I thought it was mine. I didn't know. The old I didn't know game. How come they didn't get in trouble for that? What about Filegate? Remember the FBI files on GOP enemies? Remember they went and stole a bunch of files? They were involved in this thing called Filegate, illegally obtaining FBI files on perceived adversaries and going after those adversaries. Did they get in trouble for that? No. That sounds like pretty bad stuff so far, doesn't it? What about the Clinton U scam? This is so friggin' complicated, I got to read it. In June, it was reported a Clinton-backed for-profit college, Laureate Education Wharton University, has been called a scam that piles tens of thousands of dollars of debt on unsuspecting students while unreasonably delaying degrees of often failing to deliver them. In fact, Laureate Education paid $16 million to Bill Clinton, to the group's pitch man, while the State Department funneled $55 million to Laureate when Hillary was Secretary of State. Bill Clinton abruptly resigned from his post as honorary chancellor in April 2015 when the disclosure was publicized. And they talk about the Trump University. They have the audacity, the media has the audacity to talk about Trump University. This was like 90 times bigger. Oh, but you forgot. Because they know you'll forget. Because they tap your emotions, you see. The emotion of the day, right? Well, oh, what about this one here? Did you forget about this one? Sensitive intel. No experience necessary. Remember this guy's face right here? He sat over here at the end of this meeting, and he was a party of sensitive intel, and he had no experience, but he paid $100,000 for Clinton's when they were running for the White House in 2008. Remember, he was abruptly fired? Gee, if he wouldn't have been caught, you think he had been there? He wouldn't have been fired. What about this one? Hillary's Muslim Brotherhood princess, Uma Abedin, who is a Brotherhood woman. I don't even want to go there. I covered that. What about Vince Foster's death? Oh, there's so many of you that weren't even born yet. Here, Vince Foster, you have no idea who Vince. That's Mrs. Clinton when she was somewhat attractive. That's Vince Foster, okay? Vince Foster's 1993 death. Now, let me read this real quick. This is really something that was never solved. Vince Foster, this was all over everywhere. Were they prosecuted? No. Vince Foster was deputy White House counsel and Hillary's friend and law partner. Law partner? We're talking law partner in your law firm? Yeah, you're pretty close buddies, right? Pretty close buddies. Law partners in law firms, right? Okay? We're talking, he had connections to the Travelgate and Whitewater scandals. By the way, guys, when I'm looking at this camera, I'm on Facebook. When I'm looking at that camera, I'm on Instagram. When I'm looking at that camera, I'm on Periscope. And when I'm looking at that camera, I'm on thepowervoices.com and Straight on the Point and YouTube Live. So if I'm getting mixed up, no, I'm just working 4 cameras here, okay? Just to let you know. So Vince Foster in 1993 was found dead in a parking lot with a fatal gunshot wound to his mouth, as his suicide was the subject of much speculation and 3 official investigations. Okay? Got it? Okay? Investigations by the U.S. Park Police, the Department of Justice, the FBI, Congress, independent counsel Robert B. Fisk, and independent counsel Kenneth Starr. Oh, you got to go read that. the Kenneth Starr thing. Oh my goodness, the book is about that thick, right? You got to read it. It's unbelievable. Concluded Foster's death was a suicide. Uh-huh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. In a book, 2005, The Truth About Hillary, Edward Klein wrote of Hillary's involvement in the effort to remove Foster files. The night of Foster's death, Hillary launched one of the most shameful and illegal cover-ups of her entire career. She sent two of her most trusted White House loyalists, Maggie Williams, the First Lady's chief of staff, and Patsy Thomason, okay, who was in charge of the White House administration, into Foster's office to retrieve embarrassing and incriminating documents related to Whitewater, a previous Slick Willie and Hillary scandal coming out of Arkansas when they were governor and the first lady of the state of Arkansas, and she had a law firm there too as well. Well, Whitewater House Counsel Bernard Nassenbaum barred investigators from entering Foster's office. Maggie Williams, Patsy Thomason, and Craig Livingston, Hillary's director of White House security, removed armloads of files and loose leaf briefs. In addition, a White House staffer allegedly tampered with the titles of several memos and removed the First Lady's initials in an effort to erase her role in improper behavior. Well, yeah. Oh, Emailgate? We know all about that one, right? Oh, let's whiz bang through them now. How about Chinagate? Oh, you don't know what she sold secrets to the Chinese? And what about the Russian uranium gate? She gave a whole bunch of uranium to the Russians. What about Travelgate? She fired everybody and brought all her cronies in from Arkansas. What about Whitewater? Oh, you got to read about that one. There was lots of people that died around that one. Landing under sniper fire in Bosnia. What a lie that was. Remember that? How about Hillary missing law firm billing records? Oh, they just kind of went missing, right? Mm-hmm. You try to explain that to the FBI if it's just you or me. What about Hillary's secret speeches that she earned $21 million for while she was Secretary of State? And the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. I told you I'm not gonna belabor that one too much, and I'll tell you why. Because there's somebody else to talk about. Yes, Obama. Let's talk about the truth division right here. Obama broke 78 laws as president. Here's the list. These weren't scandals. These were laws. Illegally armed Mexican drug cartels and ISIS militants. Go check it out. Okay? Attempting to shut down gun stores outside of the Second Amendment. Spent tax dollars to resettle illegals inside the U.S. That's against the law. Using executive action to restrict Second Amendment. That's against the law. Illegally targeting conservative groups via the IRS through Hillary Clinton. That's against the law. Secretly obtained phone records from Associated Press journalists. That's against the law. Carried out military intervention in Libya without congressional approval. That's against the law. Expanded Bush's unconstitutional government faith-based programs. That's against the law. And Bushies were against the law too. They're just evil. Agrees with Bush's support of unconstitutional indefinite detention of U.S. citizens without filing any charges. That's against the law. Supports unconstitutional warrantless wiretapping. That's against the law. Had 4 U.S. citizens killed. Look into that one. That's against the law. Ordered private company to fire 1,000 employees. Against the law. Stole money from retired teachers and police officers. Against the law. Fired Inspector General for discovering that Obama friend had embezzled government funds. Against the law. Lied about letting people keep their health insurance. That's against the law. Lied about the cost of Obamacare. And on and on and on and on and on and on. Oh, at number 39, had Freedom of Information Act records worse than Bush. That's horrible, and on and on. Oh, number 50, added 20,000 extra pages to Obamacare without congressional approval. That's against the law, and on and on. Oh, let's go to number 56, falsely accused the law-abiding news reporters of being an aider and abettor and or conspirator in criminal investigation. And on and on and on and on. Oh, yes, and let's not forget about 78, threatened to internet service providers with contempt of court if they did not install surveillance software. Come on. Come on. Are you people so in the clouds and you're like ostriches in your heads in the sand? Come on. This is just all documented stuff, guys. I'm not talking about anything. And here's the problem I have with the media. One-sided rat bastards. Fox is totally one-sided. CNN is totally one. If it wasn't for Fox, there would be no conservative TV. So I commend them for that. But they're one-sided in their right direction, and CNN and all the other media is one-sided in their left direction. Nobody ever reports. No one ever does homework and research. No one ever connects the dots. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5 potato, 6 potato, 7 potato, more. Nobody ever does that. Because they only deal in one thing. Not truth, not facts, not research. Opinion, fake news, and commentary to tap your heartstrings and tap your emotion. Because once they have your emotion, they got you. So let's go back here now and just let's see what Donald Trump has done in his last 100 days of being in the office. Okay? Just let's go here and see that. All right? Let's see what we can find out here. What has this guy done while he's been in the office? Here's his accomplishments. All right? Are you ready? And this is just a few of them. The Dow daily closing stock market average rose from more than 15% since the election on November 8th. On November 9th, it closed at 18,332. Then on March 1st, it closed at 21,115, and it's still up. Since the inauguration on January 20th, the Dow rose 6.5%, 21,115. The Dow took just 66 days to climb from 19,000 to 21,000, the fastest 2,000-point run ever. The Dow closed above 19,000 for the first time on November 22nd and closed above 21,000. On March 1st, the Dow closed above 20,000 on the 25th of January. March 1st, rally matched the fastest ever 1,000-point increase in the Dow in 24 days. The U.S. stock market gained $2 trillion in wealth since Trump was elected. The S&P broke 20 trillion for the first time in history. In the history of the Dow, going back to January 1901, the Dow record for most continuous closing high trading days was set in January of 1997 when Ronald Reagan, a great president, was president. The Dow set closing highs an amazing 12 times in a row that month. On February 28th, President Trump matched President Reagan when the Dow reached a new high for its 12th day in a row. Baby, the country is exploding with money. President Trump decreased the U.S. debt in his first 100 days by $100 billion. President Obama increased the U.S. debt in his first 100 days by $560 billion. Decrease, increase, see the difference? The U.S. manufacturing index soared to a 33-year high in the period, which were the best numbers since 1983, under another great president, President Reagan. President Trump added 298,000 jobs in his first month alone. Housing sales are red hot. In 2011, houses for sale were on the market on average 84 days. This year, it's just 45 days and going down, and prices are going up. Oh, if you got property, you're a happy person. Illegal immigration is down 67% since the Trump inauguration. NATO announced allied spending is up $10 billion. Hey, our partners are finally footing their own bill out of their pocketbook. About time the little babies out there were thrown out of the house and the teenagers started paying their way. After being nominated by President Trump, constitutionalized Judge Gorsuch was confirmed and sworn in as Supreme Court Justice. Constitutional judge. A constitutional judge. Not a judge of opinion and commentary and political enterprise. Notifying Congress of a strike on Syria after it was reported that the country used gas on its citizens. President signed 66 consecutive orders, executive orders, memorandums, and proclamations as of April 19th, dismantling Obama's climate change initiatives, travel bans for individuals from a select number of countries embroiled in terrorist activities. Why not? We should be safe. Enforcing regulatory reform, protecting law enforcement. Yeah. Mandating for every new regulation to eliminate 2 laws. Very good stuff. Get bad of worse faster than you're adding good. Defeating ISIS. Right on. We're doing that. Rebuilding the military. Building a border wall. Please, President, build the border wall. We need to keep those Chapa drug cartels out of our country. Cutting funding for sanctuary cities. Approving pipelines. Reducing regulations. These are jobs. And manufacturing. Placing a hiring freeze on federal employees. About time. About time we don't hire any more of these yahoos. You ever gone to the federal office or department to try to get anything done? You're looking at the people that all move like elephants and hippopotamuses. Well, actually, hippos are pretty darn fast. Elephants and Galapagos turtles. I'm moving really slow, guys. Okay, let's talk some more. Also, the president has met with foreign leaders from across the globe, so many of them, and now he's on his first journey. You know, by this time, during Obama's time, he had 9 trips out of the country. This is the president's first one, because you see, he's worried about this country and making it great. I say make it first. Heck with everybody else. Look, if you can't see the difference right there alone between Clinton, Obama, and the president, President Trump, then all I got to say is just keep on being a sheeple and keep on letting them guide your emotions to wherever they want to take them. Let them just take you whatever direction they want to take you. And I'm talking about both parties, not just one, because they will take you the direction they want you to go. They will take you there with open arms. That's why I like my new party, ITIP. You know what it is? It's the Individual Thinking Independent Party. The individual thinkers, please join my party. Individual thinkers, independent party. I don't want you if you think like the rest of them. Think out of the box. Look at things with logic and common sense. And please, do some homework, research, read. The proof is in the pudding. And the media, do not trust them. Don't trust them. They're lying to you. I think President Trump has been very careless with how he presents himself in the public. I would have thought by now that he would have smartened up and not allow himself to become emotionally involved in stuff. I have a problem with that. I mean, really? Okay, I don't mind you running the government and the country like a business, but keep the emotion out. That's something he has to really take check on. I have no problem with what he says. It's just he has to learn how to be a little bit in terms of public relations. How he says what he wants to say, in my opinion. Now, I'm sure but he's going to run the way he wants to run. But believe me, he's going to be able to do any of the disastrous, pie-in-the-sky, negative fantasy things that most people that I'm in contact with here living in Southern California think he's going to do. He's going to be Much different, because the checks and balances are going to keep him in there. So he does have some faults, but I certainly like the independents. I like this a lot. And I really think the only thing that's taking place really is the fact that we have a Washington, D.C. that has more or less worked in the same parameters for hundreds of years. I say hundreds of years because not quite 200, but maybe 200. Certainly since the end of the Civil War. It has worked in this kind of ideology, the way Washington, D.C. has kind of functioned. And now you got a guy that comes in and says, I'm changing the game. I don't work like you. And I'm not going to work like you. I work my way or hit the highway. You got a guy that they don't like because they feel that they are in jeopardy of losing that money, baby. See, because the bottom line for congressmen and senators, right? The bottom line for them is that it's the money and the network. That's the bottom line. Your couple terms as a congressman, you've got yourself full insurance for life. They don't. Do you think they got the insurance policy? No. Think we get? No. Senator is even better. They all come in and go out multimillionaires. I'm watching it happen to somebody else right in front of me. I've known for 35 years, Congressman Tony Cardenas. I'm watching it happen. The guy used to be much more free thinking. Now he's just totally agendized on inside the Beltway DNC thinking. He used to be much more free thinking as an assemblyman, as a councilman here in Los Angeles. But not anymore. Why? Because when he gets there as a rookie, he's been a couple times now, he has no choice. He's sort of completely fulfilled his financial agenda, and now he gets money for the rest of his life. He was voted in again. Oh, he doesn't realize it, but I see it. It happens to all of them. And they're afraid of that, afraid of losing that. That's why they don't like Trump. He's rocking the boat, baby. Rocking the boat. And that's my opinion about why they're after him so. Because all he's doing is changing things the way which that things, in my opinion, should be. At least closer to what I think they should be. Thank goodness I'm not president. Because if I was president, boy, I would make Trump look like silly putty. Shannon Carr's checking in. Thanks a lot, Shannon. Izzy Camarillo's checking in. Thanks a lot, Izzy Camarillo. Said Rado Liswich Mishwachwiki. RADOSLAWMICHALOWSKI. How do you expect me to say that? What's up, buddy? Good to have you along on Instagram Live. Kings Les Studios. Thanks a lot for checking in with us and all our friends on Facebook.com. Appreciate that, Jesse Terrero. All right. I wanted to chat about here real fast. It was something I was looking at here that I thought was kind of cool. As we end up here at the end of the Jesse T Show, just going to be ended up here in just a few minutes. But, oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm a wacko. If you don't already think that already, you guys are all going to think I'm nuts. Because, yes, I love these kind of stories. Oh, I could do hours on this stuff. U.S. Navy and NASA have a fully operational space fleet. Yeah, they got a fully operational space fleet. Now, do you believe that or do you not? I believe it completely. This is what one of our space fleet ships look like. It's on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero. Yeah, right there. Okay, now I'm going to read you some stuff real fast here, okay? When Gary McKinnon managed to hack the Pentagon's most secret files, the mainstream media focused on a dramatic fight against extradition to the United States. Most of these newspapers and television stations didn't seem particularly interested in what details about the United States military uncovered by the Scottish hacker. Woo, baby. Excel spreadsheets reveals non-terrestrial officers. The sustained law of silence seems fairly suspicious given that McKinnon has made several extraordinary claims about the information he assessed in the top secret military database. According to McKinnon, this guy right here, the most unusual he came across was an Excel spreadsheet listing the details of non-terrestrials officers. While McKinnon said that the phrase could be interpreted in a number of ways, one thing was certain: these officers are not based on planet Earth. In addition to these unusual rosters of names, McKinnon also found listings of a secret space fleet, around 10 warships, all prefixed with the title USS. It is McKinnon's belief that this flotilla of secret spaceships are being operated by the United States government and are fully staffed with military personnel. Oh man, I got to get this guy on the phone call. He says, I found of officers, okay? Fully operational colonies on both Mars and the Moon. Some people have been very quick to dismiss McKinnon's claims as lies or delusions, but his words match up with claims made by numerous other individuals, including those who have worked at the inner heart of NASA itself. For example, a retired aerospace engineer named William Tompkins has previously publicly stated that NASA is in a position of a highly secretive space fleet. He claims that the staff on board these vessels are ordinary soldiers who have signed up for a 20-year tours of duty, according to Tompkins. These soldiers are charged with maintaining the fully operational colonies on both Mars and the Moon. I'm telling you, we have been there. I've been reading about this stuff way before this. I've been reading about this stuff for years and decades. I'm telling you, we have technology that you and I don't understand and that we'll never be privy to. We are somewhere other than this planet. And I totally get it. It's there, man. I'm telling you. Corey Gold, a former employee in the secret space program who became a whistleblower, has echoed these claims. According to Gold, Mars was first visited by the Germans in the 1930s and was colonized by the Americans in the 1970s. Gold claims that an operation called Project Solar Warden actively seeks out planets that are ripe for colonization by human beings. Guys, the Germans had technology. They had V rockets. They were shooting from Germany and France rockets over to bomb England, okay? They had rockets, guys. They had jets. They had stealth technology. They were building a stealth winged plane. Guys, the Germans were so far ahead of us. They were just this far away from creating the nuclear bomb. We just happened to upset you have to have hard water for that. We have to happen to upset and keep blowing up their dams of hard water. Okay? They were that far away, just that far. They gave that technology to Japan via a U-boat. Then Japan was that far away. That far. If they had rockets that could go from Germany and France all around Europe into England, is it so much to think that they had bigger rockets that could go to the moon? Or maybe even technology that could go farther? I don't know. The biggest cover-up of all time, while many people may still dismiss McKinnon's claims about the United States space program, it is certainly unusual that his story is so consistent with the claims made by others who he doesn't, individuals. Perhaps McKinnon really has discovered the proof for the biggest cover-up of all time. And remember, this is the senator from Hawaii, David Inouye, on the shadow government. He spoke all about that. I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, there's something awry in the sky, and there's something more happening on Mars than fits our eyes. And there definitely is something happening on the moon. We just didn't leave the moon in the 1970s. But of course, maybe you're the ones that believe the mainstream media, right? And you're being led by the nose ring that you might have on your nose. Right? Never understood nose rings. Maybe it's my generation, I don't know. Never understood metal in the face either. I never understood women that have lots of tattoos. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I think they're horribly ugly. I hate, yuck. Women and tattoos. Ugh. I'm sorry to say, guys. I don't. The female's body is beautiful and all its beauty and luster and beauty. Tattoos just wreck everything. That's what I think. Ugh. All right. This is a Jesse T show, and it's coming about that time. I got to go pump some iron. So we're going to get back here on the Jesse T show homepage, and let's go back to that real quick if we can. And I'm going to take us out here of the show here in just a second. Always remember, guys, pass the word along. We're covering all the topics. You've just entered the world according to me, Jesse T. Torero. And I'm going to get us out of here with, I think that's a kind of a cool song right here. Kind of like this song. Kind of put this song together a while ago. Here it comes. Can you hear it? Yeah, you guys can hear it on the powervoices.com. You hear that one. Yeah, I know you can. So I'm going to play you guys on Instagram and Periscope and Facebook.com/Jesse Torero, another song after I say goodbye to our friends at Power Voices, okay? PowerVoices.com. Hey, download that free app, the Jesse T Show. You're Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 every day. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. And remember, Friday, we're road tripping the Hollywood Cemetery looking for the stars. Actually, we're looking for the headstone. Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya! Okay, guys, I'm going to play You Now song. That's what we're doing, road tripping on Friday. All right, so we're going to do this, and I'm going to get out of here. You ready to go? I'm ready to go. See if I like this.